The Prime Initiative.
If Samuel L. Jackson's nutsack smoked a pack of cigarettes a day, wore a wig, and could talk, it would be Maxine Waters. Aside from looking like a Catcher Smith from the 1950s, Maxine Waters is a Democratic U.S. Representative of California. When she's not busy looking like shit, she is spewing out lies. And we caught her on it. Here you go.
Earlier, Maxine Waters, Congresswoman Maxine Waters, claiming that there is no violence or lawlessness during these protests.
Don't think that somehow, because they called out the National Guard, there was violence. There was no violence. I was on the street. I know. Get it straight. And don't just rely on what you're being told or the few incidents that you saw. There was no violence.
Of course.
Wow. I mean, it's all there, you guys. You know, it's actually now it's just satire. It's comedy now, unfortunately, right? I mean, they're lying straight to your face, but this has happened before. And just like in the tradition of the Prime Initiative, we keep receipts here. Now, getting back to the task at hand, who's another person that's lying through their fucking faces? Of course, none other than our very own piece of shit used car salesman of a governor, Gavin Newsom. Gavin Newsom was actually caught yet in another hypocrisy lie, right? So he has this giant issue with Trump calling the National Guard over the particular violence and the riots that's happening, right? But do you guys remember back in the COVID times what happened? Take a look at this. Here's a clip, side-by-side comparison of his bullshit. The one that you're about to watch is from June 10th this year, pertaining to the riots, okay? And the one on the far left is January 14th, 2021. How quickly we forget, right? 2021, okay? Take a look at this.
Leaders commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets. He chose theatrics over public safety. That's when the downward spiral began. We're taking important steps here in California in light of what we saw at our nation's capital just last week. Let me be clear. There will be no tolerance for violence. That's why today, along with the CHP and Office of Emergency Services, I've activated the California National Guard to support the CHP to enhance security with an initial deployment of up to 1,000 Guard members to protect critical state infrastructure in and around the state capitol. Donald Trump, without consulting California law enforcement leaders, commandeered 2,000 of our state's National Guard members to deploy on our streets. He chose theatrics over public safety.
Oh, man, you know, what a fucking shit show. Now, if you guys remember back when we were on lockdown, back in COVID and all that bullshit, and we're still trying to recover from it, to be honest with you. We were all on lockdown. We couldn't go out. We couldn't even go to the beach. You guys remember that? I do. I was on duty at that time. Okay? Now, couldn't go to the beach. We couldn't go eat outside. You couldn't do shit. You had to stay inside indoors, right? Yeah, real fucking healthy, right? Again, it all goes back to the bullshit and the control that this motherfucker wants to have on California, right? But remember, he specifically stated, you can't go out, can't go to restaurants, everything's fucking shut down. But what was he, while we were obeying the law, right? Staying at home, not being able to do shit, just watch YouTube, fuck, and play video games. That's pretty much it. It is what it is, right? But what was he doing? Well, let's take a look at that. Here's a news clip from, is that CBS 13? They have a channel, 13? Wasn't it 2, I think? Anyway, this is going back to the lockdown and what he was doing. Take a look at this.
Newsom is under fire tonight for attending a party in Napa County as COVID-19 cases surge statewide.
The governor now saying he should not have gone. CBS 13's Wilson Walker has more on the coronavirus controversy.
3.7%, 14-day positivity rate may sound great compared to most other states right now.
Governor Gavin Newsom speaking early this week after dinner last week at the famed French Laundry in Yountville. We're told it was a 12-person affair seated outside. in accordance with the restaurant's normal policies, and there is no indication that any specific county rules were broken. However, there is another problem.
And we're starting to see people, again, take down their guard, take off their masks, begin to mix outside their households.
In that respect, the governor certainly violated the spirit of the state's guidance on gatherings, as the dinner party did include multiple households, like the French laundry cuisine grown in the field across the street from the restaurant. Claims of hypocrisy immediately went sprouting online.
I definitely think our leaders of the state and of the country need to set a good example. So is it setting a good example to do exactly what you're telling the rest of us not to do? No.
Kelly Vandenacker had...
There you go. He was having dinner, having a great time at a restaurant, while we were all just getting fucked. They're lying to you guys. I mean, at this point, it's like I said, it's comedy. You know, they're blatantly lying. They're not even trying anymore. They're not even trying to cover it up. It's just out there. The corruption, the hypocrisy. Welcome to California, right? Well, that time has come. We all told you guys. We all said it. This time was going to come. You're going to be caught eventually. The truth always comes out, right? Until next time, keep fighting.
The Prime Initiative.